Week 20 notes. In this video, we're going to learn how to factor trinomials with a leading coefficient greater than 1. This expression right here, ax squared plus bx plus c, you're going to write 5 times below. Ax squared plus bx plus c. And you're going to write it 4 more times below. So this type of expression is called a quadratic. And ax squared plus bx plus c is called quadratic form. So when I say quadratic, now you'll know what I'm talking about. In all of our quadratics so far, which we have been working with for the last 7 weeks or so, the a term right here, has been 1. Okay? That's why we haven't written it down there. It's just been 1, so it wasn't necessary to write. But in the quadratics below here, there are 3. You're going to identify a, b, and c. So a in this one is clearly 5. 5x squared plus 6x, so 6 is going to be b. And then c is going to be negative 8, because we have to consider the sign in front of the number. Negative 8. All right, try number 2. So a, I hope you got 4. B is negative 11. And C is 6. Try number 3. A is 2. B is a negative 1. And then C is a negative 15. Okay, why are we doing this? Well, we're going to be using quadratics a lot in the future, and being able to identify the A, the B, and the C is very important. Today, we're going to be factoring these things here, and we're going to use the star method. So the star method involves drawing stars. So it's really just a diagram, and it looks a bit like this. So you're going to draw this diagram with me here. So first you're going to draw an X, kind of like that. And then you're going to draw a horizontal line through the middle right there. So it kind of looks like a star, but that's what you're going to draw. In the top section here, you're going to write AC, which stands for A times C. In the bottom section, you're going to write B. So A times C, B, and then you're going to write an A here on this line on the top of it, on the left, and then on the right, you're going to write A again here on the top of this line. You're going to need to memorize this diagram. You're going to need to memorize it. What we're going to do now is we're going to set up stars for each of the quadratics below, and I'm going to change colors. So for number 1, we have to identify A, B, and C. We already did, though. Let me first draw my star. Okay. So in number 1, A is 5, C is negative 8. So that means 5 times negative 8. That is negative 40. All right. In the bottom, we have B, which is 6. So you'll put 6 down there. And then on the top line here, on the side, is going to be A, which is 5. Sorry about my sloppiness. So I'll move this up a little bit. And then 5 over here. All right, let's do number 2. Set up your star for number 2. Line, yeah, try to make my lines nicer looking. Draw your star. You're going to put AC on the top, 4 times 6, which is 24. B on the bottom section, which is negative 11. This is for number 2. You can put A on the top of each line on the side. So A is 4. 4 here, 4 there. Okay, getting used to setting these things up. I'll show you why in just a couple minutes. Setup number 3. Try this one on your own. Okay. So A is going to be 2, C is going to be negative 15. So up here we have 2 times negative 15, A times C. That equals negative 30. B is negative 1, goes right down there. On the top of the side line here, you have A, which is 2. So you have A there and then A there. How did you do? How did you do? Did you get it? Hopefully. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. Okay, down here, there's a little space left. There's going to be a number that goes here and here, here and here, here and here. What 2 numbers multiply to the top number and add to the bottom number? So the number up here, for example, number 1 is negative 40. The number down here is 6. And we have done this before for the last 7 weeks or so, right? Trying to find what 2 numbers multiply to this number and add to that number. We just haven't been drawing stars. So think about this for a minute on number 1. What 2 numbers multiply to negative 40 add to positive 6? Well, we can think about factors of 40. We have, well, obviously 1 and 40. The difference between 1 and 40 is definitely not 6, though. Because it's negative 40, one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. So you're thinking about differences of numbers. So what 2 factors of 40 have a difference of 6? And really, if you know your factors of 40, you'd know that that is 4 and 10. 4 and 10 have a difference of 6. Now, in order to get a positive 6, which one has to be negative? And that is definitely the 4. The 4 has to be negative. I'm running out of room over there. Okay, so our 2 numbers are negative 4 and positive 10. And where are we going to write those but right down here and right here? And it doesn't matter where you write either of them. You can put the negative 4 here or here. You put the 10 there or there. It doesn't matter. So I'll put negative 4 here and 10 here. Could have done it the other way. It doesn't matter. Okay, now each side contains a fraction. You have a fraction here and a fraction here. If the fraction can be reduced, you reduce it. So 5 over negative 4 cannot be reduced. 5 over 10 can. So you're going to reduce that. 5 over 10 equals 1 over 2. So you're going to take your fractions on both sides, which are in simplest form, and they will tell you the answer. The reduced fractions contain your answer. You're going to write your answer to each quadratic below as a binomial times a binomial, and I'll show you how to do this for number 1. And if you don't want to necessarily write all this, I would write this part. In fact, I want you to write this part right here. Very important. But if you don't necessarily want to write this, it's okay. Just copy this down. So the top number here, you're going to put an X after it, and then minus 4 like this. So you have parentheses, parentheses, binomial times binomial, 5x minus 4. That's your first factor. Your second factor is 1x plus 2. And you're done. If you don't want to write the 1 there, you don't have to. It's okay. But just so that I can be consistent. Okay. Number 2, we're going to do the same thing. What 2 numbers multiply to the top number, 24, and add to the bottom number? How about you try? The 2 numbers are negative 8 and negative 3. So you're going to put, I'm going to just put negative 8 here. It doesn't matter. I could put it on the other side too. But you put the 2 numbers there. Okay? One of them can be reduced. So we will reduce it. That's that one. This one cannot. So let's reduce this fraction. 4 over negative 8 reduces to 1 over negative 2. 1 over negative 2. And if we were to write our answer in our first set of parentheses, we will have 1x minus 2. That's where we're getting at right there. 1x minus 2. Oops. In our second set of parentheses, we will have 4x minus 3. And you can check this. You can multiply this out like we did before and see that, yes, indeed, you do get this up here. So factoring this thing does yield that. Okay, last one. What two numbers multiply to negative 30 and add to negative 1? Well, if they multiply to a negative number, that means that you have a positive times a negative number. Okay, so you have the difference of two numbers. So what two factors of 30 have a difference of negative 1, or 1 in that sense? And if you got 5 and negative 6, you were correct. So our two numbers are 5 and negative 6. We have a fraction here which cannot be reduced. However, this one can. So we'll reduce it. 2 over negative 6 reduces to 1 over negative 3. 1 over negative 3. So our answer is going to look like parentheses 2x plus 5, 2x plus 5 times 1x, or just x, minus 3. X minus 3. And we're done. Again, you can check it to see if you get this thing right here, which you will. Now, sometimes you have to factor out a GCF from each term in the quadratic before factoring. In this case, the GCF is the biggest number that divides into A, B, and C. We learned that before, but we will cover that in the next video.